can be rough. You can bite the heads off of chickens, drink their blood, get the protein, and make down pillows out of the feathers. That's what real men do.
Stirring the coffee with chopsticks a little bit late in the morning because I had to get blood drawn using the vortex method. That's stirring the coffee with the vortex method. I'm not sure if they drew my blood with the vortex method. The only true way to optimize the taste of your coffee at the molecular level. Good morning. Welcome to the Daybreak Show. I am the Sultan. We'll get started, but first, coffee. Guatemalan made cowboy coffee style. It was already ground, which is preferable. Ground finer, which means that the grinds absorb water and sink to the bottom fast. I noticed that when I have a coarser grind, they float more, and the more when I make coffee in a French press and I grind it, 7 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I go to 10 or 11, then the coffee gets muddy, gets finer. The finer coffee doesn't matter when you make it cowboy coffee style because the grounds literally saturate quick. The flavor comes out of them, the coffee extract. They sink to the bottom. When you put that little bit of cold water on, let it sit for a couple minutes, man, it just pours right off. It's beautiful. There's a lot of times I will take a half of a paper towel, you know, like those half sheets of paper towels, fold it in half, and I just throw it on top of the cowboy coffee and stir it around with a chopstick to absorb the acid, and then just take it out, shake it off a little bit, throw it in the sink, and the coffee comes out a lot less acidic. I'm actually roasting coffee right now, so the first cracking is happening as we're speaking. I already made 2 batches this morning with the hot air corn popper. Now I'm making it stovetop style in an iron skillet. And then someone shared with me their method of putting it on a baking sheet, which you can make a lot more faster, but the same, that you have to cool it the same and so forth. So before it gets too hot today, this is that weird part of the year where in the morning it's freezing and in the afternoon it's become summer. Like I have the windows cracked right now. The AC is not on, but it may end up being on in about 4 hours. The last thing I want to do is use the oven, excessive heat, and hot air corn poppers in the house in the summer. So a lot of stuff gets done outside. On the grill, I have a cooktop on the grill as well as the actual grill itself. And so much of my food from about this time of year till about the end of September is made 10 feet in that direction. And it works perfect. And you got to keep it clean. A lot of people don't keep their grills clean. Clean your grill just like you clean your stove. You won't have a dirty stove, right? Don't have a dirty grill. That means wiping it down. That means wire brushing it. At the beginning of the year, if you can, use a power washer. Take the grates off and just power wash the hell out of them. Let them dry in the sun and put them back. You'll be fine. When you take the grates off, if you can hose it down inside where the burners are, be careful with the power washer. Power washers can really jack things up. Maybe just the regular sprayer from the hose. And tilt the grill backwards. There's usually a little hole in the grill, inside, the bottom of the grill where all the stuff can run out. A lot of times they have a little hook where you can put a can to collect grease. Be careful of grease fires on grills. I found that out the hard way. And you do not put grease out with water. Always have a box of baking soda. Seriously, if you get that kind of fire on your grill, just handful of baking soda, not baking powder, baking soda, and just whoosh, flame goes right out. But don't think that a glass of water or your martini or old-fashioned is going to put out the flame. Ain't going to happen. It'll make it worse. Just keep a 59-cent box of baking soda, on the little tabletop thing, the little side thing on the grill or somewhere else. Keep it, maybe better yet, put the baking soda in like a coffee can with a plastic top, and you can just keep it on your patio table, your patio furniture underneath the umbrella. It'll be fine through all the summer storms and everything like that. But think, you do not put out grease fires with water. It'll make it worse. You will burn your deck down and burn your house down. Thank me later. Coffee, Cowboy coffee. I haven't had it in a month. It is magnificent. Strong, flavorful. I bought the bag that's already ground. I don't know why. I just wanted, I'm a changeaholic. In the same way that I buzzed off the beard and buzzed off the hair, 3 times, 4 times in the past year. A little changeaholic, so I bought some already ground coffee. And it's not bad. It's not as good as grind your own. It's not as good as buying beans. And it's never as good as roasting your own beans. So let me finish this broadcast before the first cracking is done. Then I'm going to flip them over. Like lift up the pan and just kind of do that. And they literally flip over. All right, let me get this coffee down first. Perfect. I just found out about the app called Learnistic. I know nothing about it, but apparently you can run your entire platform on it. I believe it's about $150 a month, something like that. But what got me was how I can do everything on it. Everything, not have to touch a laptop. You can do everything. Just look at it. Go to learnistic.com. It's spelled just the way it sounds. And I am all about simplification. Did you ever, I was thinking about this today, like as I went to get blood drawn today at 7 a.m. for some metabolic issues. I'm trying to optimize my body's metabolism, glucose. I do have a tendency to have high blood sugar. I was looking at when I was in the hospital last July, and my blood glucose was 500. Fucking 500. Now, when your body's in pain, it just sends everything to the rescue. Sends your sugar to the rescue. It speeds up your heart. My blood sugar, no, not blood sugar. My blood pressure was so high. My blood pressure was over 250. My sugar was 500. That's like emergency shit right there. That was rough. And I knew when they brought in the crash cart, I knew when they brought in the neurosurgeon at that point, I knew I made the right choice of going into the ER because things could have been pretty rough. Did it have to do with exercise and diet or COVID or anything like that? Nope, not at all. Not at all. You reach a certain point in your body where some things don't work, some things work well. You need, the real medicine is food. So in the same way that a doctor will adjust your medicine to achieve optimum results, you have to learn what foods. If food is medicine, if it's true that food is medicine, then you need to learn how to adjust the intake and the dosage of things. Like I'm doing this thing probably for the past 3 or 4 months where I don't eat after 4 or 5 o'clock. I was talking to the endocrinologist and he loved the idea, because he knows I get up. I do it like a 12-hour window, 4 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. That's my window of eating. I want to make that even closer. And I sleep better if I eat earlier. When I eat later, it affects my sleep. So how many times in this busy world do we have? I mean, between, like if I have a day of cutting hair or a day of coaching, next thing you know, I look at my watch and it's 7 p.m. And then I make dinner and I'm sitting down and having dinner at like 8, 8:30, 9 o'clock. Hell no, no more of that. I go to bed at 8 o'clock, you know that. So what I don't want to do is go to bed with food in my stomach. I want it to be digested and on its way down. So for a guy that goes to bed at 8 o'clock, the last time you should be eating should be about 4 o'clock. So when I go to the job, cutting hair, I get out at about 3 o'clock and I'm home by 3:30. So that I start preparing dinner at about 3:30. And so when people want to go out late at night, I have been the biggest party pooper. You can't even imagine. I just don't want to go out anymore and be part of a social scene in any form or fashion. And my life is so much better. My endocrinologist talked to me about intermittent fasting. Kind of like the modern version of it, the stuff that they're familiar with, not bro science, not gym science. I mean, would I love to do a 6 to 8 hour window? Yeah, man. And would I love to do OMAD? Oh my God, yes. So next week in my chat with him, this guy here is going to be doing some serious optimizing, looking at all my blood levels and all the different things. And it's interesting, when I was talking to him about all the different things that they test in a full blood panel, his exact words to me, and they're brilliant, this is brilliant. He goes, I treat symptoms, not numbers. I love that. And I needed to pass that on to you. I treat symptoms and not numbers. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about a couple things here today. You know, I've been reading this book for the past 3 years. This is maybe my 4th time reading it. It's called The Meaning of Marriage by Tim Keller. Last week, I read the book by Rich Cooper called The Unplugged Alpha. It is a very good book. Don't believe everything you hear about anybody. Don't believe everything you hear. Just take my word. Even though right now Rich and I are not talking, that may pass, it may not. That doesn't change the fact that this is a good book, and I'll put a link for it down below. But I will tell you this. This book alone can still land a man in trouble. This book alone can land a man being bitter and alone. Okay? I like to, just like doctors like to combine meds to get optimum results, you can't go wrong by reading these two books. They kind of balance each other out. I don't want to use that same overdone, sick, sad, sadomasochistic bullshit manosphere red pill language, but this is not alpha and beta. These are two perspectives that are necessary for a man to lead a balanced life. Now, if you are like most young men, you have a million things that you've been dealing with. If you're an old guy like me, you can only just shake your head and say, yeah, that's true, or I should have done that. One guy said to me, man, if this book was available in 1979, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. And I agreed. But also, if this was available in 1979, your world would have been a little bit different. If this was available before I got married, some people, all right, I've heard people say if this was available before I got married, I wouldn't have gotten married. I say if this was available before I got married, my marriage would have lasted. So I do say that these are tools that are necessary. You need both sets, perspectives of data in your head and in your heart. When you only have one side, things can go so wrong. So wrong. And everyone has pain that comes from, look at that finger. My finger's broke. I didn't tell anyone this. I took a spill. I was cycling. I took a spill. And 3 weeks ago. And I've fallen when I was on a bike. I've fallen when I was motorcycling. I dropped a bike once. But this by far is the worst accident that I've ever had. 3 weeks ago, I was cycling, front wheel hit a divot, and I flew, listen to this, and I was wearing this helmet, which I don't see any, oh, there it is. There's a little dent right there, so this has got to go. I am a helmet wearer, but I literally flew through the air in like a downward trajectory, and my body hit like a I broke my fall like a tripod. A tripod is 3 legs. First leg was this hand, second leg was this hand, the third leg was my face. I literally fucking landed on my face. Literally fucking landed. The good news is it was on the grass. If I was literally 6 inches over, I would have just scraped the shit out of my face, just dealt with all kinds of broken skin and so forth, even worse. Like, thank the Lord, I went to the left and literally landed like this. Face, actually like this. Face, hand, hand. But the hands weren't like this. The hand was like this, and the other hand was like that. So I jacked up both wrists. I can't even take a mayonnaise jar. I can't even, my grip is so weak right now, I can't even squeeze, I can't even take a top off a jar. Can't take a lid off a jar. When it comes to turning keys, if the key is too hard, I gotta like leverage the key ring to get a grip. Doors that are hard to open, I can't even generate a tight enough grip. Right now, I'm literally just kind of hand bumping. I don't want to do a lot of hand shaking right now because both hands are in pain. When I look at them side by side, this thumb joint here, I think is broke. And this pinky right here is completely 100% fucked up. And being a typical man, I'm like, I'll just ice this shit. I'll just, ice it every 20 minutes, ice on, off 20 minutes. That was 3 weeks ago, and I'm in more pain now, and even my neck. So I called my primary and said, I need x-rays. Left hand, right hand, neck. I can't do this. I can't just think positive and make the pain go away. I think structurally, I totally effed something up in my body. This friggin' finger is gone. That pinky is just history now. I can't even grip with it. So, lesson, wear a helmet. If I wasn't wearing a helmet, let me show you something. If I wasn't wearing a helmet, let me talk to all you alpha bitches out there. Let's say, let me find something flat here. When I hit the ground, I hit it like this. So the helmet hit the ground and then my face, kind of like more like this. And my head went up. That's why at the base of my skull is like the most unbelievable fucking pain. Structural. And I hate it. It feels horrible. If I didn't have the helmet on, watch when I go like this. It would have been the whole side of my face. If it was on pavement, I wouldn't even have a face. But the fact that it was on grass, it was just like a thud. It was like someone taking, like a heavy bag, like a punching heavy bag. It feels like someone swung a heavy bag and hit me just like completely broadsided out of my face. Like that. And I'm not kidding you. It happened. Let me tell you how fast it happened. Did you see that blink? That's how fast it happened. I was riding along, everything was cool. Cool. Boom. Next thing you know, tripod. I don't even remember going down. Tripod. And I was stunned. Absolutely freaking stunned. I haven't had an accident in years. And I'm a mountain biker. My bike is right out here. And I know, they say once you get into an accident and mess up your helmet, don't take any risks. You got to get a new helmet. There's the scrape. I can see a scrape on this. So what happens is I think the foam gets compacted. Is that the word? The foam cells collapse and then they lose their cushioning power. And man, I love this helmet. This is one of my favorite helmets of all time. I really love. I mean, it just fits my head. There's no movement. This visor is fantastic. The venting is great. I love it. I mean, I look like a mushroom head. I think I'm going to get the same exact helmet. I freaking love this helmet. Long story short, what the hell was I getting at? All right, you alpha bitches out there. I say that jokingly and with affection. Take these pills. Well, no, fuck the pills. I'm trying to get people away from red pill, blue pill, purple pill. So there I go again, using that analogy, which doesn't make me any better than all the other alpha bitches that are out there. But take both of these. This is a slower read. This is a weekend read. Go away for a day or two. Read this. Take notes. Highlight. Enjoy. Make yourself breakfast on the open campfire. Read. Swing on the hammock. Read. Make yourself a nice lunch. And then put a steak on the grill. And then fall asleep as the sun goes down. And sleep in your tent. and you spent a day or two just treating what ails you with this book. Again, you'll do that on another weekend with this book. But by themselves, they can cause... This can make a soft man softer. This can make a hardened, hurt man harder. Together, I think make a strong man. That's all I'm going to say. The Unplugged Alpha by Rich Cooper. I know he quotes Rollo Tomasi in The Rational Male. I wrote a review on Amazon. There's a lot of Rollo-isms in here, which you'll recognize right away if you read that kind of content. And I have all of those books. I'm actually one of the people that actually reads books from cover to cover, highlights and underlines, and can talk about almost any book that I read. How many people just get a book and they read like the introduction in like 3 pages, and then they put it down? They go, oh, that book sucks, or that's too hard. It's like, read the book until the fucking pages are falling out. Listen to me close. Just because you've heard shit about Rich and Rollo and various guys does not mean that the information that they wrote in their books doesn't apply to you and you won't benefit from it. Take my word for it. Ignore the BS. Don't believe everything you hear. Read these books. Unless I see underlining, highlighting, notes everywhere, you didn't read the book. So, long story short, I would say read this before you read The Rational Male. You will zone out if you think you're just going to bang through The Rational Male. You're totally deluded if you think he writes in such a way where he'll throw 1,000 points at you, and if you get 3 points out of 1,000, then you've succeeded. This book here, Unplugged Alpha, it's good stuff. Rich, let me tell you what Rich does. Let me tell you what Rich Cooper does. And I'm not going to be one of these bitches that puts him down or makes videos about him. He and I have our differences. There are some valid reasons for those differences, but they're not irreconcilable differences. Okay? That's just my opinion. But, if he never wants to talk to me again, hey, whatever, man. Whatever. But I will say this. When I teach people how to write and how to present, public speak, I always say, write how you speak and speak how you write. So I tell people, learn how to write first. And they think they got to learn all the technical aspects. I do want you to read, literally read all the proper literary guides. Everything about paragraphs and indentation and, how to structure a sentence, subject, predicate. I want you to learn all that stuff. I want you to learn how to properly footnote. I want you to learn how to properly write, the technical stuff. Then take that and write like you read. So in other words, if you and I had a talk for 60 minutes and then I was to transcribe that conversation, that's what your book should be like if you're writing a book or doing some kind of written product. Write how you talk. If I was to ask you to talk to me for an hour about masculinity, just everything you know about masculinity, and you were to dictate that on some audio program, and that was to be transcribed. Remove the ums, the buts, the all that, and remove all those all they are is nervous fillers. Watch most people who do panel discussions like Zoom or StreamYard discussions with all the talking heads. There's more buts and uhs in those. Honest to God, get a piece of paper and every time somebody says and or but or do a check mark. You'll fill that paper up in an hour. It's better to have strategic silence than anything else. Long story short, how you speak for an hour about something, if that was transcribed, that's how I want you to write. Do that. There's a great homework assignment for you. Write how you speak. Rich Cooper understands that principle. I don't think Rollo does when he blogs, and then he compiles all his blogs and puts them together and calls it a book. It's a valid way of writing a book. I'm not putting him down. I think The Rational Male is a necessary read. If you haven't read it from cover to cover, you need to do it. And again, underline, highlight, and take notes. Otherwise, you just skimmed it, and it's really, you will continue to have problems in the areas that he addresses. The two writing styles between Rollo and Rich, as far as the East is from the West. That's why I say read Rich's book first. But I also said in my review, it's necessary to help you navigate the minefield of a man's life. It's going to save you a lot of trouble. Importantly, equally important is The Rational Male. I'm not going to put it down like all the other bitches do. Sorry. And when I say bitches, I mean, it's so funny. When the black guys refer to bitches, they're usually talking about women. When I refer to bitches, I'm talking about other white guys on YouTube. Isn't that funny? What I want you to do is to read the Rational Male after you read this. And now Rich and Rollo would never, ever recommend that you read this. I'm the only guy that's going to balance that ship out. What happens to a ship that's in it just goes in circles. You want to keep going in circles? Just read red pill bullshit over and over and over again. You go in circles. You won't go anywhere. There's your cocktail right there. The Meaning of Marriage and The Unplugged Alpha. The Meaning of Marriage by Tim Keller. The Unplugged Alpha by Rich Cooper. You're welcome, Rich. I don't expect a thank you from you, but sir, you did a great job on this. It's 200 pages. Guys, you can knock this out in a weekend. Do it. You won't be disappointed. Now I need to finish my coffee. I'll see you next week on the Daybreak Show, your home of sanity, clarity, and reason.
If you are a person who is really quick to just tell people to fuck off, the perfect environment for you is the manosphere, the red pill community. I have never, ever seen so many people gather together who are so quick to backstab, fuck each other over. I'm talking family, friends. If you are the kind of guy that is misanthropic, you hate people to begin with, the manosphere is for you. You can be savage. You can be rough. You can bite the heads off of chickens. Drink their blood. Get the protein and make down pillows out of the feathers. That's what real men do. Yeah, you can change your voice in the manosphere. From the comfort of your own home, be tough. Even if you've never punched someone in your life or never got punched, you can do all that from the comfort of your home. What a bunch of fucking circle jerks. Honest to God. I have never seen anything like it. I have never seen a bigger collection of antisocial, and it's not incels. Don't even start this incel stuff, okay? Don't even start that. I have never seen a bigger collection of antisocial jack-offs in my whole life. And jack-offs attract other jack-offs. If you have a problem with someone in your family, join the manosphere. Join the red pill. Become part of the red pill community. You think you're hating then? Shit, you ain't seen nothing yet. This is what I want you to do. If you are a watcher of red pill and manosphere videos, here's your key to success. Watch them, take notes, and then when you're done taking those notes, rip them up and do the exact opposite. You will succeed in life.
Deep in the shadows, I know it's hard to put one foot in front of the other. So far is the echo, where do we start? You can learn to discover a million stars. Here in the shadows, I know you're scared. Take my hand, together we'll make a stand. We've got to fight to find a way. Dare to fall to find out what to say. No more hate. Just admit that you're just afraid. anger from the war. Let's come together, lift your spirit for the cause. We should be equal, should be living free. All together, one and all, let's build a dream. Just admit that you're just afraid. Let go of all your fears and pride. Stand up beside me, don't you hide. We can build a better place if we can just find a way. Then we can live a better day. 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 Rise from the ashes, from the anger, from the war. Let's come together, lift your spirit for the cause. We should be equal, should be living free. All together, one and all. All together, one and all. All together, one and all. Let's live a better day.